Rising gas prices and escalating healthcare costs are now dominating the political conversation across the United States, casting a long shadow over the upcoming midterm elections. A critical question looms: have President Trump's economic policies, including his use of tariffs and the ongoing conflict with Iran, ultimately backfired? In Littleton, Colorado, a suburb of Denver, Chris Campbell, the owner of a popular sports bar, is feeling the squeeze. For 2 decades, Chris has run his establishment, but he says never before have the prices for staples like beef and beer been so high. He is trying desperately to keep his menu prices stable, a challenge he describes as immense. As he explains, they are meticulously going through the menu, item by item, to figure out how to manage, knowing full well that his customers are also struggling under the burden of increasing expenses. Chris, a staunch supporter of the Republican Party and their policies of tax cuts and reduced government spending, voted for Donald Trump 3 times. Yet, despite his loyalty, Chris Campbell is now disappointed. He feels that President Trump failed to deliver on the crucial America First promise that was so important to him. Chris is not alone in this sentiment. Recent polls indicate a growing dissatisfaction among Americans with President Trump's performance in office. The economy, which was once a cornerstone of his appeal and a key theme alongside immigration that secured his voters' support, now risks becoming his Achilles heel due to the relentless rise in living costs. The midterm elections, scheduled for November, are pivotal. Their outcome has the potential to significantly curtail the power of the sitting president and reshape his political agenda. Desmond Lachman, an analyst from the American Enterprise Institute, provides an economic perspective. He suggests that President Trump's promise that everything would become cheaper was fundamentally an almost untenable pledge for any president. President Trump's specific challenge, Lachman argues, is that he promised too much. Contrary to initial assurances, the tariffs imposed by his administration are primarily being paid by American companies and consumers, a fact highlighted by studies such as one from the Kiel Institute for the World Economy. Furthermore, it was President Trump's Republican Party that declined to extend an additional government subsidy for health insurance, contributing to the rising costs. Compounding these issues, the ongoing war with Iran is pushing gas prices ever higher. Aubrey Hix, who lives near Denver, is particularly affected by the soaring costs of healthcare and fuel. She articulates her frustration, stating that she does not want to pay for wars. Instead, she wishes her tax dollars were allocated towards priorities like more affordable healthcare. Aubrey reveals that her health insurance premiums have increased by nearly 30% in the last year, in addition to her annual out-of-pocket expenses. Her particular health plan, for instance, only begins to cover treatment costs once they exceed $9,600 annually. This means a doctor-ordered colonoscopy would require her to pay almost $4,000 out of her own pocket. Aubrey feels politically unaligned and expresses deep frustration with both Republicans and Democrats, whether they are in the White House or Congress. From economist Lachman's viewpoint, the issue of living costs presents a grave danger to Republicans in the upcoming midterm elections. Lachman observes that President Trump is making a mistake previously seen with former President Joe Biden, telling people they are better off than they actually feel. Lachman does not foresee gas prices stabilizing anytime soon, even if the war with Iran concludes quickly, largely due to the extensive destruction of energy infrastructure. A recent Reuters Ipsos poll underscores the magnitude of the challenge, showing that only 29% of respondents approve of President Trump's economic policies, the lowest approval rating recorded during both of his terms in office. The long-standing adage in American politics remains profoundly true. It's the economy, stupid. The economy consistently serves as the decisive factor in elections. The upcoming midterms will test how fiercely this holds true for American voters. What's your take on soaring costs? Will voters punish President Trump in midterms? Share your view in the comments. Do you think this will matter in the next news cycle? This video was generated using artificial intelligence.